the world. Still hitting them corners and them lolos.
It's the call of the Cardinals.
There's only one team, and they're the Seahawks. One.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE. Representing for the gangsters all across the world. Still.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Good afternoon. It's Sunday. It's football time. It's time for the NFC West show. We've got a full house. Would you look at that? We've got 4 guests. 4 presenters have turned up this week. Wonder why Sam's turned up this week. Sam's back. I wonder why, hey? I wonder why. Good afternoon, boys. How are we all doing?
Great.
Excellent.
I'm sure all 3 of you are doing great, right? Yeah. As I said to Jay just before we jumped on and just hit the button there, but it's great. Got 3 of you back. I put a little blurb out going, hey, NFC West show. 3 of you guys have got stuff to talk about. I wonder why Sam's back. And not. Yeah, so I'm just going to sit quietly in the corner and let you guys gloat over your week. Sam, might as well start with you, right? You're back with us. Your team's finally looking a little healthier. You know, you've actually got some players back. And look at you guys just knocking off the unbeaten Vikings in Thursday Night Football.
And I mean, you only have like 7 weeks to recap. So
yeah. No bosh, but the rest of us are just going to sit back and let you go, Sam, right?
In all fairness, as a summary of 7 weeks, it's been, that's pretty bad. But we beat the 49ers. that's literally our 7 weeks.
Who hasn't?
No,
Bo's the only one who hasn't.
Oh, that's right.
We have not.
But there's a yet involved in that one. But yeah, it's good to have you back, Sam.
Yeah, it was a good week for us. And yeah, good to be back. I've finally getting to, actually have time to jump on with having a little one, and having Sundays seem to be, I get no time to myself, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, the NFL's on, I need to watch that. So yeah. But in terms of this week, I think it's the first time I've stayed up properly for a Thursday night game in the whole season. And obviously it's our game, and I didn't know whether to stay up or not. And then there was the news that Puka was off the IR. I thought, here we go. The band's back together. Watched it, and honestly, to be honest, I was surprised at how well the team looked, given the fact they'd been out for so long. Like, I'd expected, maybe Cooper Kupp would be in a bit more than Puka, but it looked like they had never been gone, the way that they sort of gelled straight back in and stuff. So yeah, it was great watching us play well, but I still worry about our defense massively. That defense it comes up with big plays at times, but our linebackers are dreadful. Like, I've never seen a worse pair of linebackers in my life, and I'm even more annoyed.
Bo's got something to say about that.
Yeah, I was going to say we have practice squad guys.
Yeah, but I'm even more annoyed at the fact that we obviously got rid of Ernest Jones, or traded him to the Titans for pretty much pennies, and then the Titans go and trade him to the Seahawks for, was it a 4th? And a swap of a 4th and a 5th and also Baker as well or something. It was a ridiculous trade.
Baker isn't going to start for Tennessee, so I don't really know what Tennessee was doing, but thanks, because we did need him.
Yeah.
But then again, what are Tennessee doing at the moment? They just gave D-Hop away for peanuts as well. So that's a whole other kettle of fish there going on.
They're starting Mason Rudolph. I think that pretty much tells you what they're doing.
Right.
It's
signed
right, so it's
football tanking. Is depreciating as we speak.
Yeah.
Yep. Just
burning
it down.
Burn it down. Start again next season, right? And that's all that they could be thinking about doing.
I thought that's what we were going to end up doing, to be honest.
Well, I did. Yeah, I was at the stage. If you guys, I had you kind of pegged as, if it didn't go well on Thursday, even with some of the guys coming back, I was thinking, is this okay? This is season's out now, guys. We need to start thinking ahead. Are we trading not fire sailing as such? But I was wondering if people would have been more talked about on the trade block.
The fact we were talking about trading Cooper Kupp for, trying to get a second, which, to be realistically, I don't think we were ever going to get a second for him.
I thought it was nice of you to try. I mean,
yeah, well, you've got to, someone.
You don't ask, right?
Someone ridiculous might have, someone like
the Titans.
Yeah, the Titans or the Raiders. Raiders made what Raiders are like with the picks. They like to throw them around for nothing. So we could have potentially got it, but I think now the fact that obviously Puka's back, I think that they'll probably keep Cup until the end of the season and then maybe look to train him in the off season. And I mean, there was ridiculous talks of the Vikings trying to trade for Stafford, and all of that was just basically shot down to say, yeah, that was a ridiculous load of nonsense that the media were pushing.
But if the Vikings would have won, I think all of a sudden those conversations become real.
Absolutely legitimate conversations, and I would still say and contend, and we can argue this. You guys are still in that same spot. I mean, I don't really see you contending for the NFC West. And I kind of think that I put the Seahawks kind of in the same category. You're just in this weird limbo state of being good. Okay, you don't have that opportunity of owning the NFC West, or you're just in that spot. You kind of have met, especially the Seahawks. If you bet, I mean, beating the Falcons, that was huge. Right? Who saw that coming? I didn't see that coming. Gary
didn't see it coming. We said last week, Bo, after your message, you didn't see it coming either, right? It's
not like you barely beat them or what. You guys looked confident. You dominated them really from start to finish, and it was a great game. But I still think you guys are, and the Rams are in this position of like, you're good, but
good enough.
It might be smart to reload. It might, imagine if you shipped Matthew Stafford to Miami for, what you could get. So, I mean, send Cooper Kupp away for a third. Start replenishing your cupboard, and I don't know.
You're just our whole division, really. Our whole division is just kind of good. Right, which is why, why we're 4-3 and everyone is 3-4. Like,
but I can make the argument that we have that young potential. We have the Marvin Harrison Jr. rookie. We have the young tight end. We have a quasi-young quarterback, right? Kyler Murray. At least he's short, so he looks young. We got the young. We don't really have any pieces on defense, so we got $121 million in salary cap space, so that we can piece that together.
Yep.
So we write our own, next 2, 3, 4 years. Like I see it.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Seahawks and the Rams, it's like you got old pieces. You are what you are, and I feel like you've kind of maxed out your potential. But that win by the Rams, that was huge. And I mean, that goes to show when you have all your pieces, Kupp, Nakua, all your pieces together. Wow. But I will say this, and I threw a stat out there and Gary liked it, but the week after any team plays the Lions,
they lose.
They lose. The Niners used to be like that.
It used to be us. It used to be us.
It used to be the Niners. But now we're seeing that this year with the Lions, and that's because it's a physical, tough game. So, not taking anything away from the Rams, that was a very impressive victory. Stafford's just elite. I mean, right when you forget about him, it's like, man, that dude is good. That dude is really good.
Right? It just needs the pieces, as you say.
Holy cow.
Having some of them back did make that game amazing.
And he did that. And it's not like Cooper Kupp had a big game. He didn't have a big day.
He had
4 or 5 catches, 111 yards, and I think for over 5 or 6 catches. So it wasn't like they were just big plays.
Lit the roof up. Yeah, yes. Puka only had a few as well, didn't he?
I believe they call that maximizing opportunity.
Yeah.
I think it's just if we had a rush game, we'd be absolutely dominating the teams, but we don't. I don't know what it is, because Kyron Williams is really good and he loves a touchdown, but for some reason we just can't seem to get him going on the ground.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp had 5 catches for 51 yards. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know if your O line just isn't gelled. It's kind of still a work in progress or something.
Yeah, I mean, we still don't have all of our pieces that would be our starting O line. Like we've got Limmer at centre, he's our second string centre, but we've also then really gone into the season without a proper centre, because we were playing Stephen Avila at centre and having Jonah Jackson at I think was it left guard or right guard, and then obviously both of those went out. Stephen Avila's still on IR and Jonah Jackson's out as well, or he was out. So again, we were sort of playing around with the O-line, trying to work out the best system. and I think it's coming together, but it's still not 100%. And I think that once we can sort of start, rebuilding that O-line a bit, that we might be able to start making those plays. Because the whole point was we were bringing in Jonah Jackson from Detroit to build our running game. And obviously he's gone out and not played. And then Stephen Vieira's gone out. And it's like we lost every inch of the steps that we were trying to make to get
feel like
out.
Since Whitworth retired, you haven't had an O-line.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
Well, since
when he came, you didn't have an O-line. And then you fit him in at left tackle, and all of a sudden it works. The whole line works.
And to be honest, we've not had a rushing game since Todd Gurley properly.
Yeah.
And, I think Kyron Williams is.
Well, Cam Akers had some games that it was like, because he's been tradable. I mean, if he didn't have any games, it wouldn't be tradable. But
he's been traded like 6 times to the Texans or something. Where's he gone? He's gone back he's back at the Vikings again or something.
Back at the Vikings now, yeah.
He's back at the Vikings for the 4th time round or something. How many picks has he garnered?
The thing with Cam Akers is he needed to be able to make a few runs to almost like warm up. He needed that warm up ability.
Get into the game.
A lot of people need that. Adrian Peterson needed that. Yeah, like after his 30th touch, he was like, okay, I'm ready.
But Henry needed like 2.5 quarters before he could start unloading on people.
The problem is though, we never had the ability to allow him to warm up, because it would be it'd be like a 2nd and 9 if we was running a 3rd and 8, and it's like at some point we just had to scrap the run and go to the air.
Right.
So I think that's the problem that we've had. We've never been able to even just get in like a 2nd and 5 where you can then start playing around with it and stuff. But it's coming together, and I really like. I mean, Kyron Williams is one of my favorite running backs that we've ever had in the short time that I've been a Rams fan. So yeah, it's coming together, and it's just nice having an actual team back on offense, to be honest.
Question for you. I was thinking, just mentioning it. Is it annoying that it's starting to come back now, and the season it's not gone, but it's not been a great start?
Well, especially the NFC West, right? We're all right there.
That's what I was saying. Nothing's got away from you. You're only a game out.
Well, that's it. If the Seahawks lose this week, then it's everything changes. So I think it's frustrating, because if we'd have had the full complementary offense that we have, given the way that the Niners haven't been as strong as a lot of people maybe expected them to be, that we actually could have maybe sort of tried to force some sort of dominance on it.
You could have possibly gapped a few players,
and just sort of done a little bit better than where we're at. But to be honest, given the fact that we had so many issues, I'm still quite happy with where we're at. It's just not as good as where it could be. And like I say, I think that's down to the fact that we're all just sort of very good at the moment.
Let's go and win.
Yeah. So go and win. We're all very good, or we're all inconsistently bad at times as well, aren't we? But that seems to be where everything
the fact
is
that
in the NFC.
We went from 1 week getting absolutely, dominated and thrown about by the Cardinals to then be in the Niners. It's just like, don't know what even happened.
It's like the Cardinals went from beating the Niners to getting thrown about by the Commanders, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Packers, yeah. And, it's so up and down that it's just insane right now. I mean,
we beat the Falcons, but lost to the Giants. Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
It's just like, what's going on? It's like spin the randomizer in the NFC West.
Very random.
How do you feel, Bo? How do you feel, Jay, after taking the power out of the Chargers? Then, I mean, that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, you know what? This is an awkward week. My father-in-law brought it up yesterday. We were talking about the game, and with Tua coming back, I mean, there's such personal feelings there, right? Like, imagine being a defender, a linebacker, cornerback, defensive back, and
Tua takes off, right?
Defensive lineman, yeah. And yeah, Tua rolls out and takes off running, and you got to take him down. You got to hit him. Like, how do you not pull up a little bit? Like, are you really going to throttle the guy? That's tough. So, but But this team, night and day difference. You can say that about a lot of teams in the NFL when they don't have their starting quarterback. They look a lot different. But man, put the Dolphins up towards the top. They like with Tyler Huntley, they look awful. I think he combined for 290 yards, no touchdowns. He was making a lot of people in the offense really mad. And now that Tua's back, everyone's excited. I think Tua averages 240 rushing yards, 64% completion percentage. Really knows how to run the offense. I know he had 3 picks against the Bills, but that's a division game. So, he's just a leader of that offense. And when he comes back, now that offense becomes elite. Run, pass, play action. They can do everything. They have elite everything. If the skill position player, you name it, they have it. So
they just have pace as well, don't they? You look at that; they're just a quick offense everywhere you look.
Defensively, they're middle of the road, but offensively, it's kind of like with the Chiefs, their first Super Bowl with Mahomes. Their offense was elite, their defense was middle of the road. That's what I feel like with the Dolphins, man. This and conversely, our defense is not very good. I mean, at all. The Nick Rollins.
The way you have to think about it, our defense is not very good. Yeah.
The job he's doing is absolutely amazing. We held the Detroit Lions to 0 points in the second half. That's the number 1 offense in the NFL. We held the 49ers right to 0 points in the second half. So we're doing amazing things. We held the Chargers to 0 touchdowns for the entire game. No Cardinals team has done that in 3 years. So Nick Rollins is doing some amazing things. We don't have much talent. I mean, on the defensive side of the ball, the big ticket guy is Budda Baker. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? Most fans can't name many other defenders outside of Budda Baker. And so we just lost Dennis Gardeck with the torn ACL. He was a leader in that clubhouse, that barbarian. So, we already had problems getting at the quarterback and putting pressure on the quarterback. Now we lose Dennis, our leading sack guy. So, it's going to be a tough game. There's a reason why Miami's, I think, favored 4.5. So we'll see. But I think with Kyler playing his game, you saw it in the San Fran game when he runs for that 50-yard touchdown. You saw it last week when he runs for 44 yards. With Kyler at the QB position, anything can happen because at any given time, that little midget can be gone. So,
yeah, and no one's getting a hand on him because he's too damn short to catch as well.
That's right.
He's so fast too.
Too fast.
The angry toddler with the cell phone.
Hey, that's the fastest damn toddler I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, against the Niners,
chasing him.
Against the Niners, 21.3 miles per hour, the fastest QB speed in 8 years by Next Gen Stats. So that's a fast toddler.
He is.
Yeah.
No, so your guys' game against the Chargers was crazy because, I mean,
it was.
If you look at Herbert's stat line, it actually looked good, right? He throws
really
for
good.
like 360 something.
Yep.
And you guys keep him out of the end zone.
Yep.
Impressive, right? That bend don't break. I mean, some of it was they just really shot themselves in the foot every time they got in the red zone. But they had one sequence where they had 3 penalties in a row and almost moved themselves out of field goal range. It was like it was like 2nd and 38, which was also 2nd and goal.
Yeah, 2nd and goal, so 2nd and 50. Yeah, it's like, really, what are you doing?
I think the thing that showed what that game was more than anything was the sequence. I think it was the first quarter. Kyler throws a pick. The defender's running back. He gets it punched out. He kicks it. It rolls back like 30 yards. The Cardinals get it back. Like that was the most football follies kind of play ever.
Yeah, the big guy put a mid up there, got the interception. He was running. James Conner comes from behind, holding the rock a little loose. Conner runs from behind, smacks it out, and then Michael Wilson jumps on top of it. Yeah, that was a crazy sequence. I'm like, man, what's the down and distance going to be on this one? Oh, okay, first and 10. Nice, all right.
Nice. That's actually got a first down out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just that
was crazy. I'm like, oh, okay, we're all right.
It's going to be one of those games. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right. And you know what? They don't. And man, Herbert, what an elite talent. Talk up. Yeah, he reminds me of the throwback Dan Marino. He can throw a football through center blocks. He just has an arm. and they gave him no weapons.
Yeah.
No weapons. He has no wide receivers at all to throw the ball to. So, Bo, to your point, his stat line is good. Over 300 passing yards, 349 passing yards, 69% completion percentage, no interceptions, no touchdowns either, but no offensive weapons really as far as wide receivers, tight ends. This league's okay.
New city, same old Chargers is really
yeah. And
Chargers
but they
gonna
like to
charge
run
you,
the ball
right?
and they like to
It's-
play defense. So we've really held them in check there. How we did that, I have no idea because we're not good at stopping the run. But we kept them out of the end zone, and you know, hey,
Thing
they
is, you
ran
might
the
not be
ball.
good at stopping the run, right? But you know the Chargers don't have anything but the run, as you say.
Well,
It doesn't have
but
any
they
receivers,
all
so it's-
everybody knows that, but they do that pretty well, right? I mean,
well, and they still put up 340 yards in the air. So I mean, like you're throwing to somebody.
talk
That'd be
about a
very
bend
silly.
don't break game. That was the epitome of bend, but we didn't break. We
Yeah,
bent a
really,
lot.
and almost bent over backwards.
Yeah,
but
there's
still managed
creases
to bounce
left.
back,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Still ironing them out. And Bo, the Hawks, you totally clipped their wing. Well, to say you clipped their wings, you grounded them, right? I mean, that was some game.
impressive.
It was great. I mean, they got a couple of their defensive guys back, right, for that game, which obviously was huge because, the week before we had elevated Trey Brown and Artie Burns, and they were on the practice squad, and then they end up leaving the game. Artie Burns done for the year on IR. So, I mean, we're cycling through depth, not even on the roster, right? Like we went through all of our guys on the roster. We went through our practice squad, and now we're assigning people to the practice squad just to try and have a defensive roster. So it's a little bit crazy. That's why I liked this linebacker coming in. One thing that was hilarious is we signed a defensive lineman from the Jags. If there was ever a player to not move the needle, it's that, right? Because don't play defense at all. And if you're not good enough to stay on that defense, what are you going to do with our team?
Yeah.
That's you just need a body.
Just a body. Just put somebody in there, right? That is literally
fill
just
the
anyone
hole.
all day. Yeah.
But no, this week against the Bills is going to be tough. The
I hope
Bills
so.
the Bills should win this. They
I hope so.
well, I mean, I don't because I'm going to be there, but so I hope the Hawks win. But in Pick'em, I'm picking against the Seahawks, and one of them is DK was ruled out this morning, so no DK.
Ooh,
Great.
Walker is a go, but he's still fighting off the undisclosed illness, so who knows how effective he'll be or what kind of touches he'll get. And let's be honest, the Bills are playing an elite level, and they added Amari Cooper, right, which is the outlet guy that Josh Allen's needed. So this Bills team is coming in hot, mostly healthy, against a Seattle team that is still pretty beat up on the defensive side and has the worst offensive line in the league. So it's one of those.
It's a recipe for one of those. It could go horribly, horribly wrong.
It really
But
could.
also, yeah.
I mean, the saving grace is it's here, right? So it's here in
It's a living
Seattle
field, so you gotta be able
instead
to-
of Buffalo.
We say the same thing every week, and Bo says the same thing every week, and he leads off with, the 15 minutes
we're
of the
broken.
injury
Oh my God.
status, right?
Yeah.
But the Seahawks what they do is they just find ways to win.
They do.
Despite all that, despite all the injuries, and despite the horrible left side of the offensive line, and despite the middle linebacker play, despite the injuries from you name it, and Kenneth Walker always seems like a game time decision. You just find ways to win. And that's what's the most impressive part about the Seahawks is I don't know how many times this year I'm like, oh, there's no way they're going to get their doors blown off and you win.
There's no lack of fight.
And
There's
you
no
win.
lack of fight.
Yeah. It's like, dude, will you just die already? But you know.
It's like some horror movie, right? Some like Jason horror movie.
Yeah.
Just die, man.
It's a great analogy here. It's like Jason, yes, Halloween, you just will not die.
Not go away. Just
you keep thinking it's almost like the Brock Purdy, Geno Smith. No, he's not. Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
Geno Smith is that guy. So stop. He is.
The Geno hate is so ridiculous because you clearly just aren't looking at stats, right? Like he's leading the league in yardage, attempts, completions. He's a top 5 in QBR. I mean, what are you finding to hate on this guy? He takes care of the football, doesn't turn it over like crazy. Like, I mean,
I'm sorry. Are you talking about Brock Purdy or are you talking about Geno Smith?
Geno. I mean, they're the same guy.
Really. It's just like,
that was my point, bro.
Yeah,
you can say the exact same thing about Purdy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get the hate. I'm not a huge Geno fan, right? But I mean, he does exactly what he's supposed to do. So
I don't want to be, and I'm not, and I never bought into the hype. I'm like, man, there's some kind of smoke and mirror stuff. There's no way. And then I just stopped. I think at the end of last year, coming into this year, I'm like, you know what? He is that good, right? And doesn't he lead the league in passing yards too?
Yeah.
Like, guys, we're in week 8.
Yeah, exactly.
If it was week 1, you kind of go, right, okay, week 1.
It's not like we're in week 2.
Yeah.
Right? He's got two great games.
Two great games against a really bad defense.
No, he's just that good. And he showed it year after year. He showed consistency, poise. Kenneth Walker, like I said, I mean, he's just, so you have all the pieces on offense. And I think despite the offensive line play, I think the coaching, the players' will to get it done, Seattle just really impresses me. And that scares me.
Where his numbers are actually kind of more impressive than when you just look at him. Because he's leading the league in yardage. What that stat doesn't show you is he's the 7th most hurried quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Which means he's doing that running for his life.
Yeah. Hey, doesn't that date back to Russell Wilson too? I mean, that's every Seattle quarterback, right? Since I've been alive, it feels like they just run for their lives.
Just get out. They've got nobody blocking up front, so just get out there and run around and make sense.
Yeah, we went from the Matt Hasselbeck era where we had the best left side ever assembled to never having an offensive line again.
There's some guy that snaps it to the QB and gets out of the way, right? It's literally
Super Bowl against the Steelers. You guys should have won.
No question. Yeah.
Those are horrible PI calls. Anyway, we are getting way off.
Yeah, way off tangent. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to that great game that happened at Santa Clara last week for the Niners. It just absolutely laid. I don't know what it was. It was. You know what it was? It was the first. It was really. For everyone else, you loved it, right? For everyone else, but it was just. I think it was the first really bad rookie type game from Brock. He was off. Yeah. Timing was off. It just looked like he was confused by Spagnola's defense, which is saying something because he didn't look that bad against the Vikings defense, but he looked really bad against the Chiefs defense. And he just looked like a rookie having a rookie day. Just one of those. His timing was off, rhythm was off. He didn't have an outlet. Shockingly bad in the red zone. Just one of those you kind of go, hopefully you just put that one away and go, that was bad. And it's one of those, you can't do anything about it. It's a bad game. Learn from it, move on. Debo going out just before coming down with pneumonia and going, not being there. We've said it before, when Debo's not in our squad and not on our game day, a lot of the gadgets and a lot of the motions and a lot of bits go away. And I think losing him just before, because I think he played like 4 or 5 snaps and then just was like, actually, I feel pretty rough. And everyone was, social media is like, Jason, we talked about it last week, how quick social media is to rip these guys a new one. Everyone's like, what's he doing on the sideline? Why is he not playing? Oh, he's got pneumonia. Oh, he's got actually fluid on his lungs. And okay, maybe we should kind of take a moment, take a beat to think about it before you cut him some slack a little bit. So I think that didn't help. Then losing Ayuk is just like one thing after the other. Sounds like Debo and Kittle are playing today, but losing Ayuk, and then you're looking at Brock having a bad day, and then looking around going, he's throwing to Ricky Pearsall, he's throwing to Cowing, and he's throwing to Ronnie Bell, and you're like, against the Chiefs defense, which is pretty good, and there's not much going on. Spagnola defense, and they knew, and it was almost like every first down was like, it's first and 10, second and 11. Literally, they were just stuffing the run every time we were running on first down as well.
All of our teams have had that week already this year, though, right?
Yeah.
Like for the Hawks, it was against the Giants. We made them look like world beaters somehow. That game in particular for you guys, Arizona against Green Bay.
We've had it twice, and the Commanders. That's not fair. We've had it twice. Somebody else needs to have it twice.
You're just getting greedy. And the Rams have had it well. Right?
All right.
I was going to say we've
sharing it around
4 times already, so
Yeah, no, it's. I think that's probably the most frustrating thing with the West this year is just how inconsistent the play is for all of us.
Yeah.
Like, you'll come out one week and you're like, okay, here we go. This team looks good. Then the next week you're like, did we forget how to play football? Like,
what happened since? Like, is this the same team? Have they got different players? Yeah.
The team didn't actually travel. They just found 53 people put jerseys on.
Yeah. Just picked up some guys as they traveled over off the plane and go, yeah, you'll do, right? You can run around a bit. But yeah, it was such a bad game. It's so disappointing, it's the Chiefs, it's the rematch, it's the build up and everything else. And then to have such a squib game where it's just like, ugh.
No Finns in here. They're backing up. It's this is the NFC West.
This is the NFC West show, so NFC West, just to confirm. So we won't have any Finns in here. Maybe the show after. Yeah, just a point I want to. But thanks for tuning in, buddy.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you're right. The inconsistency in the West is, it's frustrating for all of us. The up and down. It would be nice to kind of just go right, tune in, have a nice win. Thanks very much. But we're all kind of tuning in, going, "What are we going to see this week?" type thing. And we've got the Cowboys coming to town, and that's like a huge game. Cowboys defense is beaten up. We're beaten up. Normally, I'd be all over this, but the way it's been so far, I'm like, "Oh, this could be horrible, or it could be great." And I'm just like,
right.
It'd be nice to be able, really nice to be able to know that staying up until 4 a.m. this morning is going to be worth it, right?
At least you don't have to deal with a run game this week, because the Dallas are the worst in rushing and the worst in touchdowns for the season.
Even if they try and run it right, you'd still be able to catch the guys because they're like older than.
Well, they've just activated Dalvin Cook, haven't they? So that's where they're at now.
They're at Dalvin Cook now, are they?
That's right.
Wow, that's
still faster than Zeke and younger than just about. Yeah.
Going back to the Niners game though last week with the Chiefs, I really felt like you kind of went toe to toe with them. You went blow to blow. I really felt like that was a Spagnuolo game. I really felt like Spagnuolo had your number, and that was a defensive game. I think we left in the third quarter to go to my wife's parents' house for dinner, and it was like maybe a 2-point game, and then drive 20 minutes, and all of a sudden it's like a 30-point game. I'm like, wait, what happened? What happened? And I think that so Purdy did not have his best game, but I feel like with all those receivers, his top 3 receivers going down, them not getting much going offensively, I think he felt that pressure, and he felt like he had to do more and more and more.
Yeah.
And so with that pressure led to more and more mistakes, unfortunately. And that's what the Chiefs do the best, right? They're undefeated. They're not very impressive. They're not impressive running the ball.
They're not playing good football, but they're 6-0.
All they do is win. They just win. And I looked at the game last week against you guys, and I'm like, what they do is they don't hurt themselves.
Yes.
They don't make mistakes.
They don't make mistakes. They don't give up silly penalties. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's what they do. They're extremely disciplined, and they go into each game saying, let the other team beat themselves. They will beat themselves, and you don't disappoint. Or any team doesn't disappoint. The Chiefs just don't look to me. They just win every single.
What Wayne's saying, you shouldn't have lived. I'm blaming your wife for that. Yeah, that's it basically.
Yeah.
You went to your wife's family for dinner and we lost. That's your fault, Jay. We would have been okay.
Hey, I'm happy about it.
Clutching at straws here. Clutching at whatever I can.
Happy about it. I hope you lose again today, but
yeah.
Sounds like you got to go to dinner each week.
Yeah.
Every week, yeah, right.
Hey, bite the bullet. Got to do what you got to do.
Got to take it, even if it's your wife's family. You got to take it.
Even if it's my in-laws.
Yeah. So, I mean, how are you feeling about your game then? So, you think Miami could be a struggle with Tua back in? Bo,
yeah,
feeling
like we have all said, you never know what to expect. This Tua's first game back, right after missing the last 4. So you never know what kind of Tua you're going to get. The last time Tua was in a game, he was throwing 3 picks, and the Bills really got him confused. Now our defense is not going to get him confused by any means, but there is that rust factor. So getting back into the game, we'll see. I like the spread. I like the spread, the points we're getting. But again, you never know what kind of Kyler you're going to get, right? Or what kind of offense you're going to get. So if we can just limit them offensively and our offense can show up, I really like our chances. Again, we've got the skill position guys. We got the people to do it, get the job done. It's just a matter of going, and like we've all said, what team are we going to get on Sunday? So
yeah, I mean, I think the Dolphins win this. Tua coming back, that offense is completely different when he's in the lineup.
100%.
They basically have a track team that plays football, and so it's that's going to be tough for your defense to limit. And then if they jump out to a lead, then you become one dimensional. I think that's where this game can get out of hand. But to your point, I actually like Arizona to cover. I think you end up on the wrong side of the scoreboard, but I think you cover.
Yeah. I echo that.
What's the line on the Seahawks?
I think it's 3. The Bills are giving 3.
It may have moved because DK got ruled out this morning.
Oh, okay.
Probably has, right? Yeah.
So let me take a look real quick because it was the Bills -3. Where are we?
Which is the usual home field.
No. They're favored away.
Oh, they're favored by 3. Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah. So which is, basically favored by a touchdown almost because it's
almost, yeah.
Yeah. So as it sits now, it's still 3. The fact that it didn't move is actually surprising.
I thought with DK going out, that would have shifted the needle a little bit.
Yeah, it seemed like that would have been that dangerous 5.5 would have been where that jumped up to, which usually means the underdog. The underdog,
right? You're going to win it, yeah. Maybe that's they listened to you last time. It's like, that 5.5. We can't go 5.5 because we know what that means. Everyone flips on it, yeah.
But no, I mean, the Bills are favored, and they should be. I mean, this is
that Amari Cooper trade for the Bills is a great piece of business, right? I mean, for an organization that's suddenly going, hey, we're in the hunt here. We could make.
Did you see his opening touchdown that they showed? He actually
he didn't even know the play.
He had to.
He had no idea
what his route was.
Well, where do you want me to go? Okay.
And
I'll go in there. Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's still managed to catch it. Yeah. But I think, an organization that's kind of gone, hey, we're in with a shout. We could get this guy for, not massively breaking the bank, and then go in there and get him. It's a great piece of business for them. Great piece of I think the Browns are ready for a fire sale, right? Everyone is expecting the Browns are going to be
selling up. If you were that defender that gave up that touchdown, how mad would you be? Because the guy standing next to him didn't just tell him the route, like you saw it too.
Yeah, he's like, hey, he's doing a quick in. He's doing it in.
He was trying to be on the DL. He was trying to be nonchalant, but like millions of people saw him do that. Like,
he's like, you gotta,
just go.
Go and in, right? That's the route. It's like, surely the DB just goes, right.
That was so funny. It was great football.
Yeah.
And then
but as you say, for that DB, you're just like,
best.
Can you imagine the film room for that DB on the Monday when he got back?
Oh man, you were
everyone else saw this. How did you not see this? You are getting ripped to pieces, right?
Well, and it's 2 of them, right? Because you had the outside linebacker that initially picked him up, and the safety. How did nobody? Like, you guys are standing there.
How good is Amari Cooper, right? Even though they know what he's going to do, he's still hoping to catch the ball.
Josh Allen too. Josh Allen's amazing.
Josh Allen, yeah. I mean, I think it is going to elevate them. It's going to give Josh, as you say, that outlet, that deep ball that he's not had. I think it's going to make, and I think it already showed last game. I think Keon Coleman will suddenly come into his own in sort of shorter yardage, get a lot more volume. So I think it's just a great move.
It helps Josh Allen's rushing game as well, because if before people knew he wasn't really If he's going to throw to anyone, he's going to have to throw to, to Kincaid or Coleman realistically. Whereas now he has those two plus Cooper, and then they can just turn around and go, well, actually, no, I'll run it instead. So you'll be able to start seeing a bit more maybe of him on the ground, doing what everyone knows he can do.
Yeah,
I think Buffalo's recipe for success especially long term, is for him to run it less.
Oh, no question. Yeah.
Because
you don't want
the Bills. Well, obviously you don't want him to get hurt, but the longevity of his career and where the Bills are going for the next 3-5 years is on Josh Allen's shoulders, right? And the more he does, the more they put on him in game. I mean, we're just seeing Cam Newton 2.0, right? We're just seeing. I'm not saying that they have the same talent. What I'm saying is it's that punishment. It's that
body
Josh Allen can run like that and take off, and nobody can take that much punishment. I don't care how you're built. I don't care how big you are. How
much time and effort you spend in the gym or whatever else. It's still.
I mean, these guys are ginormous, and taking hits like that. Your quarterback should not be your leading rusher on your team.
And he has been for a while, hasn't he? I mean, it's
and they've had some amazing running backs. Not amazing, but very, very good running backs.
Yeah, well, it was? I think it was last year or the year before. He made up 95% of their offense.
Yep.
It's just like, man, that is not a recipe for success. And then people get mad. They're like, oh, we lost in the playoffs. It's like, well, yeah, because you have to defend one guy.
Well, and then Dable got promoted. The head coaching job at the Giants, and I'm like, this is off a Josh Allen. You're getting this off of Josh Allen, and it's not right. Like, you're putting everything on Josh Allen. Let's spread it out a little bit, because you got great position guys, skill guys. Let's stop putting everything on Josh Allen. But whatever. That's
except this game. Put it all on him.
Right.
Put it all on Josh Allen.
Here's the thing, though.
By him shutting down, you'll be fine.
Here's the thing. He can. I was going to say he can win, though. So
you can put it all on him, and he'll take off and have a Josh Allen game.
It's better. It's better having Josh Allen's run game as a almost like a backup piece than having it as your only route to your offense sort of thing.
Well, and that's a problem for Seattle, because we're terrible at stopping the run. So I prefer he doesn't scramble much.
You're also terrible at stopping tight ends, though, as well, right? And you've kind of got a pretty good one there as well. So you could be, as you say, it could be an ugly game, because the weaknesses in your defense are the strengths of their offense. So it's kind of one of those hideous matchups, isn't it?
We struggle with the run. We struggle with in-cutting routes. We struggle with tight ends. All the things they do well. I'm like, man.
This could be an interesting one, right? Could be an interesting one. And I'd say now, I don't even know what the line is at home against the Cowboys. I'm assuming we're 3-point favorites, but
I think that is a pick 'em. Oh no, you're giving 5.5. Man, this just reminds me of my childhood and growing up. That was the NFC Championship game. It felt like every year was the Niners and the
Cowboys. Year. Yeah.
I love this matchup, so I can't wait to see it.
That is crazy. You're giving 5.5. That really does sound like Cowboys are going to win.
So that's that 5.5 again, right? It's like,
I would definitely take those points all day long.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure,
yeah. I'm surprised it's like that. That's freaking me out even more now after saying that.
I'm going to bed now.
Go to bed. I'm not even going to bother. It's like I'm tempted. And this is the joy for 49ers fans when it gets to these games. Just like, you've got to watch the Dallas Cowboys game. You're like, I've got to put the alarm on because I've got to go to bed at 9. Wake up at 1:30. What time's it kick off? 20 past midnight. It kicks off tonight. So it's just like, it's going to be painful to stay up and watch that for a Monday morning and then have to go to work. Gonna have to be done now.
That's where the West Coast is nice.
yeah, for you guys. Yeah, Sam and I are like, why did we choose West Coast teams? It's like, never get an early night.
That's never the annoying thing is that we our usual kickoffs is at the earliest 20 past 9, at the latest 20 past 1 kickoffs. It's like, you just get used to it after a while.
You just kind of just like, you're just right off most
I've got very used to being able to watch the 40-minute replays the day after. That's what I'm doing.
Well, I mean,
a lot of that
those are awesome.
You go to bed and then wake up at 1 to watch the game.
Yeah. That's what I'll be doing today. I'll be like, I might watch the early games, sleep through the 9 o'clock slate, up for the late one. Although there's some really good ones in the late. It's just like, and that's where you get like tricky when you kind of go, oh, I want to watch that game as well, and then you're just like, oh, late game kicks in, and you're like trying to watch it, trying to be quiet, trying not to keep the house up, and it's just like, especially against the Cowboys, right? Because it's going to be one of those whooping and hollering type of games. So you're like, oh,
it's going to
2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. You're like, yeah.
It'll be one of the better games of the week for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I thought that of the Chiefs last week, and that didn't work. So I'm coming into this one. I'm coming into this one thinking, no, it's not going to be that good.
For a neutral, that Niners Chiefs game was amazing.
Yeah,
because it was just chaotic.
It was just horrid. It was just chaos, and nobody could get anything going. Yeah, and you're right. We did stick with it, but it was just like
that was the Chargers Cardinals game. Like as a neutral party, it was hilarious. Because you just saw some like goofy stuff happen out there. Like all the things that shouldn't happen was happening. So, especially when it came to
game here.
Especially when it came to like the Chargers in the red zone. All of a sudden, like every penalty you could ever think of started happening. It's just like, what is going on in this game?
I'll take it. If Connor doesn't strip that ball, we don't win. So
for sure. No,
it was a very un-Harbaugh game as well for the Chargers, right? It's not like Harbaugh.
It wasn't very disciplined at all. Yeah,
it wasn't very disciplined. No,
it was just there was so much goofiness, but it was from both sides, so it didn't end up being like a weird one-sided.
So one-sided.
Yeah. Wasn't playing well. Like everybody was just doing weird stuff.
And that sometimes happens though, doesn't it? When one team's having one of those days where you're just like, you're bouncing it off of helmets and whatever else, and then the other team starts to almost play to that level because they're like, you guys are just goofing off here, so we're just going to not be serious about it. And you almost you play down the levels, and it's so happens so often.
Well, I mean, if you look at the stat sheet, you would think they won. I mean, they had more total yards. They only had 5 penalties. They had more time of possession was more 34 minutes or 25 minutes.
It was the timing of the penalties that killed them, though.
Yeah.
Well, as you say, they only have 5, but then 2 of them taking them to 2nd and 39, and but 2nd and goal. Like, it does not compute.
They did great on 3rd down.
Yeah. But hey, take the win, right, boys? They're running towards the end. I'm gonna let you go because you've got to get to the stadium. Jay, you're watching it from home today.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to Miami.
No, you're not going to go.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to go to the in-laws, right? You're staying at home. You're not driving to the in-laws.
No,
it's a nice drive for you guys, right?
Depends on what the score is at halftime. Then I might be leaving. Yeah.
Just send us the message going heading to the in-laws. I'll be like, oh, great, that's it. Turn it off now. Boys, enjoy your Sunday. It's been great talking to you. It's been nice having all 4 of us back. Sam, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, Sam, good to see you. Congrats on the new one.
Yeah, thanks. He's just here at the moment, just being an absolute terror. So,
standard stuff.
Sounds like a Cardinal already.
That's like he's already going to cause us problems. Take it easy, boys. Thanks very much. Have a great Sunday. See you next week.
Hey, guys.
The world still hitting them corners and them lolos.
It's the call of the Cardinals. The call.
There's only one team, and they're the Seahawks. One.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE.